Hello, Weirdos!
You are watching Keep It Weird, the podcast for all things strange, unusual, paranormal, supernatural, creepy, sticky, gross, scary, and everything in between. It's Halloween.
It's Halloween, and that's why we're holding props.
I mean, it's not Halloween. It's it's October, but it's basically Halloween.
It's Halloween the entire month. Let's be real. It's Halloween.
Yeah, you get it. If you're watching
understand.
this, you get it.
It's true. Understand. If you're interested in us at all, you get it.
You're with us. You're celebrating right alongside us.
It's just so exciting. I love this month. And it feels like fall outside,
It does.
which is a miracle for Los Angeles.
Last year, this time, it was in the hundreds.
Yeah, we were roasting and dying.
Because I remember I got to go to Illinois last year for a wedding, and it was like a godsend because it was 112 degrees.
It was horrible here, but this year,
it's nice.
The gods have looked down upon us. It's wonderful.
They knew. They were like, you've had a hard year, just as Americans.
Yep. Good God, yes.
So
they knew we needed a break.
Here.
Enjoy the fall weather.
Enjoy your month, your holiday month.
You deserve it.
Anyways.
Take it easy.
This is Keep It Weird, and this is our new segment,
This Week in Weird! Weird, weird. That was fun.
Halloween edition, but I have no Halloween stories. Do you?
No, shoot! I really should have tried for that.
Oh, no, I do.
She does.
Spook. That was your first. That was your first scare.
Spook
of the episode.
Did you jump when I screamed?
Jump when she screamed?
Okay.
I gotta stop. This is hitting my...
I was like, in order to read, I have to set Scully down. Okay. I hope you enjoyed
the pumpkin and the skull. Okay, so before we get started, I do have a Halloween story.
Do tell.
About a haunted house. I just want to make sure it's not one of your stories while I slowly tell this. Okay, so there was a haunted house somewhere. I don't remember where because I didn't write it down.
It's not one of your stories.
It was like the kind that you walk through, like Halloween Horror Nights situation. And someone actually got stabbed.
No.
Yep.
This was like an actor?
Weekend. No, so what happened was one of the actors, so it was actually a friend stabbed her friend she was with because one of the actors like gave her a little knife and
shut up.
Yeah, and was like stab him.
No.
And she was like, "What?" And he was like, "Do it." So
Did
she was
think
like,
it was
okay.
like just part of it?
It was just part of like the
what?
She was
Hello?
like, listen, we were handed, and luckily she had all these witnesses that said like this tall creepy guy came up and was told her to stab her friend. But they were like, we had been handed so many like fake weapons throughout
silly
this
little
and
props.
like told to like do things to like our group, and like the whole thing was like to turn on your friends.
Sure.
And not the way I said that made it seem like turn on your friends, but like to turn on your friends.
Yes.
And she stabbed him in the arm. He had to go to the emergency room.
Okay, so he's fine.
He's fine.
Thank God it was in the arm. What if she went for the stomach?
Yeah.
That is awful. Is the guy in trouble? Creepy, tall Magoo?
All they said was, like, we placed him on leave. It's like, on leave?
Kick him out and throw away the key.
I guess he literally, like, right after was like, oh, I didn't know it was that sharp. It's a knife.
You're done. That is insane. That's crazy.
That's my Halloween story.
Well, if an actor hands you anything, be careful. I don't know.
Don't stab your friends.
Yeah, don't stab them.
Lesson number 1. This is our new segment. We take weird, wacky, strange, unusual, gross, sticky news from all over the world, usually the country, but all over the world, and we tell you what's going on so you can be informed and live your life accordingly. So, my first story today, with caution.
Be careful out there.
This is a cautionary tale about medication.
Oh.
So, this story comes from New York.
Okay.
A little over a year ago, a healthy 31-year-old man checked into a New York City clinic with a very unusual complaint. Everything that he saw was red. All the time. No treatment could remedy this even after a year. All he sees is red. Like, not like it's red, but like everything has a red hue.
Okay, so he can
like
see people, but they're red.
Yeah, he would see you, but you would be different shades of red as opposed to like, colors.
normal skin color.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the man's symptoms, well, actually, it turns out the reason all he can see is red is that he has retinal toxicity. It's an eye disorder that affects how a person sees color. Specifically, he has what is called irreversible erythropoiesia.
The usual. You've heard of it.
You know what I'm talking about. The man's symptoms had appeared soon after he had taken sildenafil citrate, the active ingredient in popular erectile dysfunction drugs. He had bought, and here's the problem, nothing wrong with taking erectile dysfunction drugs at all. But he bought the drugs, he had no prescription. He bought the drugs online. He drank it in liquid form directly from the bottle, so he did not measure how much he drank. He just drank it. There was no measuring whatever. And he didn't follow the directions clearly enough, or maybe he got a bad batch from like an online seller because he didn't go through an actual pharmacy.
Sounds shady.
But he overdosed, and it caused structural changes to his retinas and possible permanent eye damage.
Oh my God. So he ruined himself over this online knockoff erectile dysfunction medication.
So words of advice from your gal pals over here at Keep It Weird. Don't take medication unless you have a prescription for it.
Precisely.
Unless it's weed.
Yeah, that's true. And
it's legal weed.
It's legal here. Where we are.
We're fine. And follow the directions.
Follow the correct instructions.
That's the thing is, I know a lot of people think, when you hear overdose, you think that means, writhing on the floor, foaming at the mouth. Right. But overdose literally just means an overdose.
You took too much.
You took too much, and there's going to be some sort of adverse reactions. Yeah, whether it's, passing out, or, getting sick, or seeing red for the rest of your life.
Oh my God, the seeing red. I didn't even know that could happen. That's nuts.
And, if you do have if you have erectile dysfunction, get a prescription. There's a reason you should only take this drug if you need this drug.
Right.
And a lot of people, especially with that type of drug, think that the more that you take, the better it will work.
Better the experience.
No. And also, if you don't need it, and you're just I just want to be, extra... Yeah.
Want to be the
this
best
is a PG-13 episode, so extra wah 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 wah. Yes.
This.
You want to be extra saucy? It doesn't work that way. Your whole body is going to fail.
Yeah, please don't. Just read the
And also, I know it's embarrassing to get erectile dysfunction medication, but
you don't have to get it online.
If you have any form of health insurance, it's covered because you're a man.
Yeah, men get things that they want. We get nothing covered.
You could just walk in and say, does work, and they give you stuff. So just, do it. I'm sorry, it's embarrassing.
Sorry, you're a man, and your life is
simple.
Every
part of my body is embarrassing.
Yeah, everything women do is awful.
Everything is embarrassing.
Oh,
go.
Anyway, we rant over.
Move on. I could stay on this topic all day.
All damn day. Also, I ended up nixing this story because it grossed me out so much, but we always end up having stories with similar topics. You did an eyeball story, and I originally had an eyeball story on the docket, but guys, I literally removed it because the pictures and video that were attached to the story were horrible. Yeah. I'll just say a man had a parasitic worm removed from his eyeball.
Also,
I'm ill. It was so terrible. I had to take it away.
You're also pregnant.
I'm pregnant. And things make me extra queasy.
Yeah. So,
baby boy didn't like it.
Baby don't like it.
No, but honestly, if you want to be grossed out, just Google it. 60-year-old man, parasitic worm in his eye. Okay, it's terrible. Anyway, eyeballs.
No more gross stories for 5 more months.
I know, seriously. This one's not gross.
Okay.
It's just mysterious.
Ooh.
Experts are trying to determine the cause of flames that were up to 12 feet high that spontaneously erupted from a pit in Arkansas last month. Arkansas, in a pit. So far, they've come up empty. But what's funny about this story to me is that one of the...
I was like, pit? And you were like, Arkansas? It was just funny that, we both...
2 different things.
I was like, pit? Anyways.
Arkansas!
Sorry.
One of my favorite things of this story is that a county judge made sure to tell the newspaper and all the media as far as Satan goes, we've ruled that out for this case. They ruled out Satan. They said, we didn't see anyone show up with a pitchfork and blow the hole out.
First of all, county officials,
what?
Take this a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Because fire erupted from a pit in Arkansas.
Yeah. So that is scary.
You're getting paid to be here.
We want to get some real reasons. So put your devil talk aside. And also, pitchfork, you're doing the cliche little devil that we see.
First of all, do your job. Second of all, if you're being serious right now, what's going on in Arkansas? That they have to be like, first of all, we've ruled out the devil. Second of all,
this, and this happened. Like, why is that the first thing you say? And like, oh, he might not have a pitchfork. We don't know. Okay, anyway, a lot of things bothered me about that. So, the fire burned for about 40 minutes back in September from a hole believed to have been made by animals. So they think the hole looks like it was dug up by something. But why was there fire coming out of it also? Gabby being crazy over there. Then the fire chief, Donald Tucker, said, I took a temperature reading of it, and it showed it was 780 degrees inside this hole, but we have no idea what caused it. There are no gas lines nearby. There was no smell of natural gas anywhere. It couldn't have been a meteor strike, as the 3.5-foot deep pit had been there for some time, so it didn't just appear and then the flames came. It was already there. And then a geological survey geologist came forward and said, I cannot think of any geologic situation that would allow a phenomenon like this to happen. There's not any fossil fuels or petroleum that occurs in the area. We just have no idea. So it's a complete mystery why 12-foot flames erupted from a little hole in the ground. And
this was in September, and they still have no idea?
Back in September, and they still have no idea to this day. They're still investigating it. Scientists are on the scene. Everyone's out there. But they have no idea, and they said this may remain a mystery forever. That was the last word by the county judge.
We need
answers!
Weird wonders of the world on this.
I know.
They always debunk these things. So,
maybe it was Satan. I think you guys ruled it out to quit.
Yeah. Did you actually do any research to come to that conclusion? I have a question.
Sure.
The hole was there.
It already existed, they believe, made by an animal. So it had been spotted before the fire was spotted.
Okay, so it's not...
So it wasn't just like, oh, we think this was probably here. Like, it was known that it was there. Pre-made hole, but then randomly huge flames, 780 degrees inside the hole. And no gas lines nearby, nothing electrical, just a fire.
Mystery.
In a hole.
You're right. Mysterious.
It was either a wizard, Satan, and his pitchfork.
Or poop. Animal poop.
Animal poop?
It's like fertilizer.
That went ablaze?
Yeah, doesn't it, like, wouldn't that make it, like, well, I guess
if it's
that
fertilizer, wouldn't
like
that be
gas.
like a plant?
True. We could either get a beanstalk
or
a beanstalk of fire, which is what we got.
Which is what happened.
Yeah,
I just thought that was creepy and weird.
No, that's very strange, and I don't like it because that makes me think it can happen anywhere.
I know, that like, flames would, like, here in this room, where there's actually, like, things that can come
outside my house.
I just wonder if a creature emerged from the flames, but no one was there to see it, and, like, a new species has been born from the flames.
Yes, or the dodo's back. Satan was
yes.
like, we don't want him.
We don't want him. Send him up there.
He's a dumb bird. He can't even fly.
The dodo's back.
So, this one, I love this story.
Oh, good.
I love this story. This is not scary or gross or sticky, but it is weird.
Okay.
So,
that's what we're here for.
Last time, I have to start sad though. So last time we talked about, it's another cat story, and the last time, I know, but the last time we talked about a cat serial killer in Washington, and it was really awful, and I do have a little update on that. One, they have not caught him in any way. Like, they have no leads. Even though there's like a $57,000 reward for any information to, like, bring them to this cat murderer.
There's tons of incentive.
There's been 14 cats now that have been found mutilated and displayed. But over the weekend, a mutilated dog was found along the Nisqually River. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It was skinned and its tail was cut off. The police have not officially connected the dog with the 14 cat slayings, especially since none of the cats were found skinned, but they are investigating connections now because, like, they're kind of, they they gotta go after anything because
Step
there's
it up.
no leads on this murderer.
Gotta take anything you can get.
But on to the fun stuff now. Okay, so more cat stuff. This story comes out of Columbus, Ohio. An 83-year-old woman was arrested for theft earlier this year. It turns out she trained her dozens of cats to steal jewelry and other valuables from her neighbors. And this is how I know that time is not a straight line, because that's me.
That's her.
In the future.
That's what she's going to do, and Gabby's going to be the thief.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby Cat.
Oh
my God, this is amazing. Sorry.
Awesome. I mean, she's been arrested. That's kind of a bummer.
I mean,
but
you have to,
yeah,
but
you can't steal.
I still love
You can't
it.
steal Ashley.
You can't. Future Ashley, chill
How
out.
much do you want to?
Oh God, you're gonna end up in Columbus, Ohio? Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Sorry,
Whatever life decisions I make from here to then are poor.
I feel bad as someone from Ohio's
No,
probably listening.
Columbus,
It's probably
Ohio's
great. I've
actually
never been there.
really
I have
nice,
no room
I
to
assume.
judge. Okay. Anywho.
The Columbus Police Department opened an investigation on Ruth Gregson, I changed my name,
Ruth.
and her 65 cats.
What?
65 cats.
Well, what? Does she live in just a normal house? Where do
Normal
they all
house?
fit? Where do they go? Is
I
there a
don't know.
basement?
Well, they
Does she have a
obviously
tunnel
don't
system?
stay like always in the house.
Oh, sure, because they go outside and rob.
And rob. Several victims reported being visited by Mrs. Gregson's cats before noticing the disappearance of several shiny objects like pieces of jewelry and fine, valuable silverware. The cops were super skeptical because, of course they were. That's ridiculous.
Right.
It's not cats. So they started to
definitely not the
survey,
cats.
like, do surveillance in the neighborhood. It's 100% cats. They were going into homes and
Coming out
taking
with
out
shiny
anything
things.
shiny and bringing it back to her.
Can you imagine seeing a little cat with a necklace hanging in its teeth, like
Got my meal ticket. Upon searching Miss Gregson, I'm not married. Of course I'm not.
65 cats and not married? What?
What? Ow. Upon searching Ms. Gregson's house, investigators found $650,000 worth of jewelry
Holy
and precious
shit.
metal among piles and piles and piles of garbage, like worthless garbage that the cats have brought back because they don't know what.
Yeah,
jewelry
they're not trained
is.
just to get jewelry.
No,
they're like,
it's
oh,
like,
you just
that
want me to
looks
grab
nice,
everything? Holy shit.
Let's see. 65 adult cats and 17 kittens were found on site and entrusted to the Columbus Humane Society.
Okay, good.
She confessed to training her cats to steal and claimed that the cats had to earn their meals. Apparently, she would only feed the animals if they brought home valuables, so the animals had to steal every day in order to survive. So she's actually a monster, and it's totally not me in the future, because I would never do anything.
Yeah, this is all proving that this is not you in the
do
future. She's like, these cats have to earn their way.
earn it.
Oh my God, she is a monster.
She's like a
I don't
cat
like her
landlord.
anymore.
Like, why did they live
She
there?
is the
Like,
cat
the
landlord.
cats should just move out.
Right.
They're cats.
And they seem like they're pretty intelligent. Like, get the hell out. Did you see the
Yeah.
other people's homes? How they don't look like shit like yours? You should move out.
just go.
Go, cats, go.
According to the Columbus police, Ms. Gregson's animals could have stolen from over 5,000 houses and apartments in the area. Oh!
I do have to say, I mean, Ruth, you're crazy. But
impressed.
I'm impressed that she was able
Yeah.
to train that many cats to get into that many homes and steal that much stuff. Like, that's insane. I didn't even
That's
know you
bananas.
could train cats. I assumed they were just like, fuck you.
You
I'm not
can, but
listening.
I don't know how. I mean, you have to
Yeah,
like
what do you
torture them.
use?
You can't like
Oh,
you have to
yeah,
like
it
not feed them
means-
because
It means she was being
Yeah.
very unkind.
honestly, it's probably not that hard to train cats because every morning before these cats get their food, their like wet food, they'll do whatever I ask.
That's true. You can be very motivated
Yeah,
by
it can be very-
delicious food.
And like they just ate
I'm motivated by
8
delicious
hours prior, so
food. Acting like
can't be
they're
that hard to
starving.
train. Yeah.
No, you're right. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So
Okay. Well,
cat teeth.
moving on. Cats. So this is my like story that's a little bit longer, but it's very cool. And actually, I realized it does have Halloween involved in it. It's not like a Halloween story, but something's happening on Halloween that
great.
involves this, and it's really cool. Anyway, you're gonna like it. So a little backstory first. While trekking off the beaten path in the New York Catskill Mountains, two hikers made a startling discovery. Tucked away in a cave was a strange hand-carved statue that was very unsettling. It had 6 rusty nails sticking into its eyes, and a dirty length of cord was wrapped tightly around its neck. Whoever had placed it there was clearly long gone. It was very old. But one thing was for sure, it had something very wrong about it. But despite their judgment, the hikers said, well, let's take it. Like, this could be valuable.
Well, yeah, why not?
Why
just
not?
Bring this
Let's
into
go
our
for
homes where our families are.
Even though we feel terrible about it. So for the next week, the men who discovered the strange figure were plagued by crazy encounters that they couldn't explain. It started innocently with some knocks and some weird bumps in the night, but then turned into the statue moving around their home and muddy footprints appearing on their floor out of the blue. One night they saw an apparition, a shadowy apparition crouched in their living room. They named it the Crone. It was an emaciated body and it had glowing eyes, and they saw it a couple of times crouched in their living room, and it wasn't until the presence of this crazy little statue with rusty nails in its eyes. So it has now been dubbed the Crone of the Catskills, and these people are like, get this out of my home. We made a terrible mistake. But guess who it was given to? The Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and Occult, which we talk about all the time.
I love them.
So they knew the figure would be safely cared for with this awesome traveling museum, and the activity could be studied by people who are like, we love this. So
we're okay with this.
Yes. So it only took a day before the entity attached to the item began to lash out again, ripping a figure of Jesus from a crucifix and hanging on a wall. Only a few weeks later, the statue was filmed moving completely on its own. Something just flew out of my mouth. When footprints were manifesting in the museum headquarters as well, an even more dangerous phenomena began to present itself by hurting some of the people. People were getting like weird rashes appearing on their arms. Crazy stuff. People were getting sick. A car accident happened. I think someone had a seizure. Awful stuff.
Boy.
So they put it on as they have tons of stuff. We've talked about this museum before. They travel on the road. They have lots of cool little paranormal things.
Baubles.
Certain objects that they have go on a no touching list that they'll still bring in the museum, but it's like, don't touch this, because anyone who actually made direct contact with it got sick or ill or got in a car accident.
The piece from the Amityville
Isn't
house.
It the same thing? Yeah, it has to be encased.
No touch list.
So this got added to that, but it still goes around with the traveling museum. They're just like, watch out.
Watch out.
It's really horrible. But they've been traveling with it for a little bit, and bad things have still been happening, even as it's been added to the no-touch list. So they're actually thinking of getting rid of it forever, which is crazy for this museum to say that. But they're
because
they keep almost everything. But they were saying, we think this needs to be returned to the cave. We think we've opened a really bad door with this. I think we're going to take it back to the Catskills. But the thing that's happening on Halloween that is fun, it's going to be the first object added to Haunted Object Database by 3D printing. So on Halloween night, they're doing a live stream for anyone who's a member of the Paranormal and Occult Museum Club to watch the live viewing on Halloween at, I don't know what time it is. You have to be a member or on their Patreon page. But if you're a member, you get to watch them 3D printing this artifact that they will then have in their database to be like, this is what it looked like. But the actual artifact will most likely be returned to the mountains. Ashley hates this so much. But if you want to watch the 3D scan of the crone,
you can watch it.
You can on Halloween.
They're making it. Have you seen Puppet Master?
Oh.
Have you seen Hellraiser?
You're right.
Have you seen any scary movie that's ever been
happened?
Ever? Like, what? Who? Okay, I get it.
Oh. I'm jumpy.
Well, we're talking about this fucking
horrible
monster
thing, and then Gabby's like, let me hit every blind as I walk.
May I see it?
Oh, yeah. No, that's not. That's like an animated. Here he is.
Oh,
I mean, he's not, like, fun, and he has a noose. Oh, well, it's far away. We're in a weird position. I can't really get close. But you can see it. The shiny things you see on the top of his face are the rusty nails, and he has a noose around his neck, and he's just this little wooden awful thing. So it's going to be 3D printed just so for the sake of going around on the shows and saying, this is him, this is the crone. Yeah, but the actual one, they're like, we've done something terrible.
We're putting it back in the cave.
Yeah. Which
I
kind of think so.
You know where they should put it?
Where?
The Fiery Hole.
The Fiery Hole in
Arkansas!
Arkansas.
We're in the Fiery Hole! That's why it opened up. It was like you took it from the cave.
Put us back.
The hole erupted with fire. It
That's
was
the whole talking.
Here's where you put it.
Put it back
It's right here.
See, our stories always come back together.
We planned
That's exactly
it.
right.
We planned it.
But anyway, if you're sitting on your couch on Halloween night and want to watch a 3D print of the Crone.
I will be. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, that's true. We're all gonna be. Yeah. We're all gonna be on our couches.
I actually have just like a silly little thing because I was researching. I was actually trying to research the Malaysian flight to see if there were any updates on that. And
there always are randomly.
Randomly, yeah. I came across this silly thing that made me irrationally angry, and I had to share it with you. I feel like Joe in this moment because it's like, just calm down. It doesn't matter, but I am so mad. Okay. Did you know that Southwest Airlines offers Artists on the Fly, which is literally surprise concerts on board their planes?
What? Like people jump up from their seats and start performing?
Yeah, like with instruments and microphones and stuff. And you can't opt out.
I was going to say, can you opt out?
Because you're on a plane and you're trapped in there with them.
You can't jump out with a parachute?
No, I would. So
I don't like that. I don't want to be disturbed.
Any idea how mad I would be?
I'd be so mad.
I was finally in my seat, like on the last leg of a flight, and someone stood up with a guitar and was like, la da da da. I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face.
That is not what I want.
Do not play your guitar here.
I hate flying already.
I have work to do.
Oh my gosh.
I've got
I have a nap
to read,
to take.
Naps to take.
I was gonna watch About Time with Rachel McAdams because that was an in-flight movie I had recently.
That's a really good movie.
I love that
movie so much. I can't talk about it.
I'm gonna get emotional. But seriously, that's what I want to be doing.
Who wants this?
No one
wants this.
No one. Actually, my mom, I feel like, would want this. Jane Myers
my
might
mom
enjoy
actually
this.
Too would be like,
Pam might.
This is great.
Oh, Lauren,
Isn't this great? I'd be like, no, it's not fucking great.
I was asleep.
This is bullshit. According to The Current, which is Minnesota Public Radio, which means they have no idea what people like. Sorry, Minnesota. But according to them, Southwest passengers hope that their flight will be one of the lucky ones to feature a sure-to-go viral performance. First
no one
of all,
hopes that.
No, they don't. Second of all, seeing as this has been around since 2011,
what?
Surely will go viral. I have never seen anyone do this.
I've never heard of this.
It has never gone viral. You're full of shit, Southwest.
It's been around for 7 years.
2011, and it still happens. It's still on their website. You can go to southwest.com.
I fly Southwest a decent amount.
Southwest.com/entertainment. There's in-flight concerts, and if it ever happens to me,
is it
that'll be the final straw.
Is it a complete surprise when you get on board, or if you're looking at your flight details on your itinerary, will there be like a little star that's like,
oh, something's gonna happen.
Something's going down.
First of all, before I get on this plane, do not say there's a surprise waiting.
Yeah, don't say it to anybody.
Having so much anxiety.
I've had 10 anxiety attacks. I'm about to throw up.
Yeah,
don't.
I can't. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I just know that if it ever happens to me, that's going to be it. I'm moving to the middle of nowhere. I'm living in a cabin. I'm not speaking to anyone for 60 years.
We will only travel by RV across the country with 65 cats
teach you how to steal. So anyways, that wasn't a story. That was just something that I had to bring up because I was so mad about it. My final story today is actually a follow-up on the suspicious New Mexico Observatory closure.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
Sorry. I got very excited because this was bonkers.
So for those of you who don't know about this or didn't follow the story in any way, just to sum it up, on September 6th, the Sunspot Solar Observatory in New Mexico was shut down by its operator, the Association of Universities for Research in Astronomy. That's who owns and operates this place. Absolutely no reason was given to the public for the closure, which isn't that suspicious, especially if something not so great was going on either with the facilities or surround. I mean, it could have literally been like black mold.
Right.
They're not going to announce we haven't taken care of the place.
Yeah, keep it under wraps.
So they didn't announce it to the public. Whatever, but they also cut off all traffic leading up to the observatory, and they told local law enforcement that they needed to be at the ready, but refused to tell any of them, including the sheriff, what was going on.
That was the most bizarre part.
The sheriff, like, actively spoke out and was like, this is absolutely
insane.
ridiculous.
Someone should tell me.
He was very vocal about how irresponsible that was, stating, how are we supposed to be ready to serve and protect if we have absolutely no idea what's going on or who we are even supposed to be protecting at all?
Right.
The FBI, along with multiple unidentified government agencies, as well as military vehicles, were seen going up to the observatory. There were also reports of work crews on towers. They also evacuated the entire area, as well as there were Black Hawk helicopters in the area.
It was so weird.
Yeah. Well, it was finally announced that the reason for all of this madness was that apparently the janitor of the facility has been using the observatory's Wi-Fi to download and distribute child pornography.
Oh, no.
Which, okay, fine. But wait, here's the thing. So
I don't like it.
Supposedly this janitor was taking his laptop there to do his child porn work, and instead of, like, doing it at home, so you'd think maybe he was privy enough of IP addresses to try and pull a fast one on them.
Right.
But he'd still use his personal laptop and bring it to his place of work. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That
if
he
it was
would,
his personal computer.
Yeah, be privy enough to know, like, oh, IP addresses, they could track this, and then take his own laptop to his place of work.
Use a different computer.
And do it.
Yeah,
so
that doesn't match
little
up.
Suspicious about that. And then also, the janitor supposedly complained about their lax security at the observatory before this all happened, before, like, they started the investigation, saying that, due to what he claimed to be an apparent, like, multiple break-ins at night. So why would this guy try and get more security put on a building that he himself was using for illegal services?
And what is the most common thing that happens to people who question the government and secret agencies? They get child pornography put on their computer.
Well, that's what I wrote down here. I wrote, like, the thing is like, absolutely. Like, that's could be what had happened.
Sure. That's one theory.
But if it was just a janitor
sniffing around.
Here's the thing. That's, like, the worst thing. Child pornography is awful.
Oh, it is.
Like, child pornography is what leads to sex trafficking, what leads to, like, horrible things. It's horrible. However, if that's what the threat was, if that was what the problem was, why did they bring in the FBI, the military, the another agency, government agency?
And why wouldn't they tell the sheriff? The sheriff could be involved in a case like that.
That they were investigating. Why did they shut down the entire area surrounding it? He wasn't in the area. They arrested him at his home.
Yeah, it's not like this guy was on the run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they shut down the whole
So
place.
many fishy things.
And it just doesn't make sense. And I like she was saying, like, the number one thing, and I wrote down, like, why that is, because I don't know if we've ever, like, brought it up. But
had a big dive into that.
There are a hell of a lot of people who speak out against the government, claim they have proof of aliens, invent things. There was the guy who invented the car that ran on water. All of a sudden, child porn went away. The car that ran on water actually ran on water. Gone. Patent. Gone. Don't know how that happened.
Everything swept away.
And people that expose damning evidence towards powerful people end up with child pornography charges.
Yeah, it's like the number one thing.
Well, and if you think about it, because
that completely destroys a person.
It completely destroys a person. It completely destroys any credibility that they have.
Right.
And you don't have to have physical proof for the community to hate you.
Yeah.
If it's a murder, they're gonna say, like, if you try and pin a murder on someone, they're gonna say, well, who'd they murder and why and where's the body?
Yeah.
That's hard. If you actually, like, molest a child, what child? Mm-hmm. Are there more children? Right. Where did this take place? Yeah. How did he have access to children? That's too messy. Child porn is so easy to hack into someone's computer and plant anything.
Yeah.
To be able to plant child pornography, and then all of a sudden, people hate you. Right. Everyone hates you.
You're the
And they
most
should.
despised person. You're put away
But
forever.
how easy
You'll probably
is
get murdered in prison.
Yeah.
Like, they're
to
destroyed.
frame someone for child pornography.
It's so easy.
And in this
it happens
case,
all the time.
I don't know if they would, like, why they would try and frame this guy for child pornography. I'm actually wondering if there's child pornography, like, at all.
Sure.
Or if it was a conspiracy, something else was going on, but what's the one thing that's going to shut people up about it? It's child pornography. No one's going to continue to question it. They're going to be like, oh, do what you got to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
go in there. It's
fuck
fine.
them up. Go in there.
So glad,
more
so glad you took care of
Thank
this.
you,
man.
officer.
Yeah. That's right.
So as soon as I saw that, as soon as I saw child pornography, I was like, here we go again.
Another
folks.
one. Oh my gosh, there are too
Surprise,
many
surprise.
suspicious things attached to that story.
There
You're
are,
absolutely right.
and
that don't make sense.
Yeah, the one thing that
Doesn't match
I
up.
remember, NASA shot off like an unscheduled rocket,
Like 3 days before,
3
right?
days, no, into the closure.
Oh.
And so some people thought, oh, well, they shut it down so people couldn't spy on, like, what NASA was doing. But it was on the other side of mountains, like,
Yeah,
and the observatory, like, it points up.
right.
It's not like you could take the giant telescope and be like, I'm going to point this wherever I want.
Sure.
Yeah, so, like, that didn't pan out.
No, I remember that.
I don't know,
too.
it was very strange.
It's all very bizarre.
It's all very strange.
Fishy, fishy.
Anyways. I don't
Another
buy
rant
it.
we could go on. Yeah, I don't buy it.
I don't
At first
buy
when you
it.
said that, I was like, oh, it had to be, like, the most heart-wrenching story. And then the
know.
more you went on, I was like, wait a second.
Hold on. Doesn't make sense.
Hold the phone.
Try again, government.
It's time for our final story, and it's also time for Lauren's Derp Corner! Oh, my arm popped out of place. This will be my final pose.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, anyway, I just hated that sound. My arm's fine. If you were wondering, if you were worried.
She's fine.
Derp Corner time, and it's a very derpy one today.
Yay.
Boop, boop. Also taking place in Minnesota. You were talking about Minnesota.
Oh.
Oh,
See?
hello,
There's
hey,
a
hi.
sign.
Some birds in Minnesota are really enjoying themselves on some fermented berries,
Oh.
according to police in the
no.
city of Gilbert. Fermented, you hear that? So on Tuesday, the department posted a notice on Facebook warning citizens that it has received several reports of birds that appear to be under the influence that are flying into windows, cars, and acting very confused and
Oh.
disoriented. Which birds fly into windows anyway, but it was
All the
happening
time.
so frequently, and they were buzzing about on the ground like so crazily
like,
that
"What's
people
going on
were
with
like,
these birds?"
hold on a second, this is something else. Apparently these birds are getting boozed up on some berries that fermented earlier than usual due to an early frost. A cold weather front came in sooner than expected, which made these a little bit of boozy berries for the birds. So I love people that come
Really,
forward
this
and talk
is
to
a
the media.
story about global warming. Go on.
Yes, yes it is. There's always something underneath, you know? Matthew Dotter, a self-described bird guy
Bird guy.
in Palo Alto, California, I just love that, told the Washington Post that since there's no such thing as a birdie breathalyzer, you have to look at their in-flight behavior to get the level of avian intoxication. Bird guy, you're teaching us so much. They'd be flying
Good
kind
tip,
of...
bird guy.
Thank you, bird guy.
Good tip.
They'll be flying kind of erratically, and we typically see them flying lower than usual through traffic. They're just careless, and they're not looking for cars or any other obstacles. They'll crash into anything in their way. So look out for that.
Yeah.
He said robins, cedar waxwings, and thrushes are the bird species most likely to get drunk on the berries than other species. So watch for these.
Okay.
See if they're acting weird. See if they're looking a little boozy. They'll get sloppy and clumsy, and they've actually fallen out of trees on occasion because they just can't stay perched up or remember how to fly, which actually makes me really sad. The poor birds. The Gilbert Police Department in Minnesota said the birds will likely sober up soon after the fermented berries are completely eaten and are then gone and no one can get drunk anymore. And they asked locals not to call unless they see very angry birds laughing and giggling uncontrollably and appearing to be overly happy. He's making jokes. Or...
These officials.
I know,
like,
I'm telling you. Every news story today
take
is
your job
just
seriously.
joking around. Or let us know if you see Tweety Bird acting as if he's 10
No.
feet tall and getting into confrontations with cats.
No. Get
What?
Get that. Get him out of here.
Hate when they try to be funny.
Here.
But for real, after jokes aside, if you think you're surrounded by boozed up birds, the Audubon Society suggests putting decals on large windows so they won't come crashing into them. See, that's actually something helpful.
That is helpful. Thank you.
You don't have to mock Tweety bird.
Yeah.
Anyway, boozed up birdies. Getting real drunk.
That was an episode of Weird Wonders of the World, but it was somewhere else. It was like Madagascar or something crazy, where like it was somewhere tropical, because I think they were like parrots or something. They were like big birds.
Oh, that would be crazy.
So they weren't flying into things, but they were just like hammered. And they were eating fermented fruit.
Blacked out birdies.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, it would just be so sad to see a bird plop
out of a tree
and just like, I forgot to know to use
how
these.
to bird.
I forgot how to bird.
And I bet it doesn't take much to get birds drunk, because they don't have bones, really. Mm-hmm. Like, they're hollow bones.
You just eat one little berry and they're like...
One berry and they're hammered. Wouldn't that be nice?
I know. Right?
Cheap date.
Am I right? Oh, well.
Well.
That was nice. Oh.
That's all the time we have. That's all the time we have this week for This Week is Weird. We hope you guys have...
I'm so sorry.
We had a lot. We had food, and then we had candy corn, and...
No, it seems like we're drunk, but I'm pregnant. We're drunk on ranch, fries, tacos.
Ranch, fries, and tacos. We hope you have a very happy Halloween.
Yes. Be safe out there.
Be safe.
But
and if you're in... Where is it? That's, like, made it illegal if you... trick-or-treat over 13. Have you not seen this?
No.
Another Halloween news story. There's a place, I think it was Iowa, that if you trick-or-treat over 13, you could face up to 6 months jail time.
Oh, shoot.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Keep it weird.